Hello, Steve White, TrickBoy89 for Steve Arts 89, Star Trek's Gatekeeper. Now, I just did 2 videos on IDW comics because frankly there wasn't much on at the moment, not much news I want to talk about, and I was looking through TrekMovie.com and I noticed there was a Ferengi issue. I don't like the Ferengi, but I sort of thought, I'll have a look at that. And then there was a comic as well on Grey and Adira, and then after that there was this little nugget, and I'm like, really? IDW is launching Star Trek The Mirror War, a year-long comic series. So, yeah, I'm just going to read the article to start off with, and then I'll give you my opinion. IDW is wrapping up the 2-year-long Star Trek Year 5 series this summer, and today they just announced a brand new year-long series to follow that up. So they're replacing Year 5 with the 24th Century Mirror Universe. So not Star Trek. So we're not going to have any Star Trek comics this year from IDW. Star Trek The Mirror War. The classic Star Trek episode Mirror Mirror introduced the Mirror Universe and the Terran Empire, and various Trek shows revisited this dark and dangerous place in decades since. But we never saw the Next Generation's take on the Mirror Universe on television, but IDW has been showing us a vision of Mirror TNG, starting with Mirror Broken in 2017, and beginning on Star Trek Day, September 8th this year. The Star Trek Comics publisher returns with a new series where they invite readers to witness what the galaxy could be like at the mercy of Captain Picard, whose greatness is measured in cunning and cruelty. So basically this is just Picard, except in Picard we had one episode in what was basically the closest thing to a Mirror Universe episode that they've done for Next Generation. We're just going to have a whole year of comics in that story, basically, although it's not actually the Mirror Universe and it's more of a military story. But it's basically the same thing. So, all we get is dark, negative, nihilistic Star Trek. The Mirror War brings back writers Scott and David Tipton, who have penned IDW's 3 previous TNG-era Mirror Universe miniseries. We're absolutely thrilled to return to the Mirror Universe, says Scott Tipton. What's in store for our Mirror Jean-Luc Picard and his Enterprise crew? New faces, new places, and old grudges? Picard's ambitions are grander than ever, and nothing short of the throne itself will satisfy him. The series will kick off a month early in August with a special Star Trek The Mirror War 0 issue illustrated by Carlos Nieto. This 0 issue features a new story of Mirror Picard as he's summoned to Earth to face the wrath of his Emperor, deftly weaving threads from past Mirror Universe tales in a way entertaining to both newcomers and the initiated alike. Star Trek Mirror War 0 will be available in multiple cover variants from retailers and fans to enjoy. Cover A by series artist Carlos Nieto, cover by Ijawa Edge Ibanebe, I'm not sure if I said that right, and a retailer incentive edition by Bex Glending. Starting with issue 1, J.K. Woodward, I can say that name, thank God, will be providing cover art for every regular issue. And we've got one here, which is Picard standing on a hill with skulls under his feet, with the other cast standing behind him, all looking very menacing, because that's the Mirror Universe. Following September 0 issue, the series will continue to build a year-long tension with issues 1 to 8 and 4 interspersed tie-in specials. So we get an 8-part miniseries and then 4 individual issues which are featuring our Next Generation cast members. The first spin-off one-shot stated for December will focus on Data. Once complete, the 13-part saga will chart Mirror Picard's path of conquest across the Mirror Universe, stoking the wrath of the Klingon-Cardassian alliance along the way. In the Mirror War, we'll be seeing what happens when Picard gets hold of information that can change the fortunes of the debilitated Terran Empire, says David Tipton. The Enterprise crew will find themselves in positions of potential power and wealth like never before. With Mirror Broken, Through the Mirror, and Terra Incognita, Scott and David Tipton, along with our Mirror War series cover artist J.K. Woodward, crafted a compelling and wholly original corner of the Star Trek universe. We're excited to continue the tradition of the Mirror Universe, the Mirror War, all while bringing new artists and storytelling to those Trek landscapes fans love, says editor Megan Brown. Yes, it is Brown, isn't it? Okay, so that's the article. Now, I think I can talk another 5 minutes about the actual Mirror Universe. Now, I do not like the Mirror Universe. The Mirror Universe was good as a one-off episode in the original Star Trek, but it's basically anti-Star Trek. That was the point. It was to show the complete opposite of what would have happened. Well, not what would have happened like an alternate timeline like we see in Picard, where we basically see a mirror universe, but basically a universe that was just meant to be opposite the whole time. So it's very anti-Star Trek, and what disturbs me is there's a lot of people who call themselves Star Trek fans who really don't like Star Trek and its core values. They really want it to be something else. They really want it to be like a generic dark science fiction show where everything is cynical and nihilistic and relatable in that it's dark and negative and everyone's fighting and hating each other just like how we are today. Whereas Star Trek was the opposite of that. It was bright, it was aspirational, it was utopian, humanity had evolved, and all the issues were from outside, whereas the Mirror Universe is all infighting and very insular. I mean, they destroyed all the other worlds around them, and now they're just fighting within themselves, just within power, just to maintain the power of the empire that they own, that they created. So I find it really disheartening that after 2 years of Year 5, which was a good series, I haven't got it because I was waiting for it to end so I could get it in collected form. Now we've just got the next year of Star Trek is not Star Trek, it's Mirror Universe. And yeah, there's so many fans who want Star Trek to be something different, and they're just focusing on to try and get more general appeal. They're focusing on things that really weren't Star Trek, that unfortunately appeal to a general audience because they were very anti-Star Trek. Star Trek's very niche. The franchise, the fandom was always very small. It was dedicated, but it was small, and now that wasn't good enough. So now they're trying to get the general audience. They're doing that by trying to make Star Trek into something else. It's either Game of Thrones, or it's... What else they tried to make Star Trek? They've tried to make it Star Wars. They've tried to make it almost Doctor Who in some ways. They're just trying to make it anything but Star Trek because they want all the people who didn't like Star Trek to watch it, because that was the bigger audience than those who did. And that's just the sad reality of Star Trek at the moment. And just the idea the whole next year of Star Trek comics is not Star Trek. It's the anti-Star Trek, which Deep Space Nine tried to be on a smaller level. And because they really went into the Mirror Universe in Deep Space Nine, and they created the Dominion War and Section 31 and all the very anti-Star Trek sort of things, because basically Ira Steven Behr hated Gene Roddenberry, hated Next Gen, and he wanted to create the anti-Next Gen Star Trek for, regular people to relate to, because it was all about war and religion and negativity and dogma and all these things that Star Trek had dealt with and gotten rid of by the 24th century. And another thing someone pointed out, which I didn't really catch on to me, in Picard's mother in the 24th century is mentally ill. Mental illness had been resolved by the 23rd century in Kirk's time. There are only very few people who had mental illness because we had resolved all those issues. We'd had sorted the mind out. We knew how to deal with trauma and issues and all this stuff. So there's so many things they're pulling back and reversing, and they're trying to make Star Trek more relatable by making it really different from what Star Trek was. And it's not Star Trek. I can't enjoy it. I can't watch it. And I miss Star Trek. I miss this optimistic world I wanted to live in. I aspired to be, one of the Star Trek, a Star Trek-like person, a Gene Roddenberry human. And it's funny to see so many people resent that and not like that. A lot of people just didn't like Star Trek. They watched it, but they didn't like the core values of it, and they watched it for just the aliens or the ships or the gunfights or the adventure part of it, and kind of ignored the philosophy and the all the good parts. I'm going to go. I'm nearly at 10 minutes. I don't want to talk anymore about this, but yeah, I find this really disheartening to see the next year is going to be, in comics, is going to be not Star Trek. So we're not going to have Star Trek comics for another year from IDW, because they're focusing on literally a different universe, which is sort of what the TV shows have been doing and what the movie series have been doing for the last couple of years, because they don't really like the core of what Star Trek is, and they're trying to get away from it and get all the general audience in, when the general audience doesn't really care, and even if they did, they would never be as committed as the original Star Trek fans, so it's never going to work out the same it's never going to be as good. It's never going to do as well. They're never going to make so much money in merchandise because people sort of watch it once and then they just go off to the next thing. They don't really get sucked into it, because I got sucked into Star Trek because I wanted to live in that universe and I wanted to maintain that universe, and I did that through all the additional reading and all the other shows and revisiting it. The new fans don't have that. They don't have that drive because it's just like today, and it's just like responding to their views of today, and they don't really need to escape to it because it's just now. So yeah, I'm going to go because I could rant about this all day. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Did I say that already? I don't know. Thanks. Bye.